Hi Aquarius, welcome back to my channel. Somebody is nervous. Somebody has anxiety. I've noticed that with a couple of my placements. Somebody gets anxiety. I kind of love that though. I don't love you feeling anxious. That sucks, but I think it's endearing, you know. Um, Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a reading for Aquarius placements, whatever fucking placement that you got, baby. You want to stalk an Aquarius? Be my guest. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, sorry, I'm sucking on a hard candy right now. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, the information on how to do so is in my bio below. If you'd like to leave me a tip, you can do so. The information on how to do so is in the bio below as well. Some of you guys are too attached to the concept that anything that is unknown to you is evil. That was the message I was getting earlier. For some of you guys, somebody might have done spell work to you or tried to send an entity your way. Specifically, so a lot of people, when they're fearful of like baneful magic and stuff like that, a lot of that shit doesn't really hit. But the biggest thing that I think I've told you guys about is that external versus internal locus of control. You have to have a very intense self-knowledge to know when somebody's fucking with you. And that is not just in the spirit. I mean, it's always in the spirit realm, because the spirit realm is the emotional, intellectual world. But you have to be very in touch with yourself to be able to tell when anybody's manipulating you, because we are all just spirits incarnate, correct? So if you are giving too much fear into the idea of a dark entity, then no matter what it is that you feel, you're going to associate that with something dark. It doesn't mean that it's dark, but you're going to associate that with something dark, especially if you're somebody who grew up in a very strict Christian background and you were kind of taught like this dichotomy of the spirit realm where there's either angels or demons, God or Satan. There's no in between. Baby, there is a lot in between, okay? In fact, there's more in between than you might think, and most of it isn't bad, okay? Like when I was mentioning the Goetia at the beginning of the reading. If you're not into that kind of shit, just don't go into it. But believe it or not, just because not everybody, in fact, the majority of us do not practice that aspect of magic. Most of us don't, okay? But a lot of people associate esotericism, brujeria, candomblé, any non-Christian or non-Abrahamic religion, they associate it with being devil worship or something. And honestly, I feel like that's actually very unfair to those of us that are pagan, because most of us know Christianity inside out. So if we have something to say about Christianity or Catholicism, we're coming from a place of knowledge. Most people that vilify our belief systems, our indigenous belief systems, don't know shit about it. It's just they're projecting colonial conceptions or perceptions onto what it is that we believe and we practice, instead of actually asking questions and gaining knowledge, because you're trying to fit our belief system into a narrative that it is bad, and it's not bad. You just don't know shit about it. But imagine, for those of us who are pagan or even indigenous belief systems, I mean, honestly, if those of us that do practice that back before Spain and England came, if we perceived Christianity as being inherently evil from jump, a lot of y'all wouldn't be here, okay? A lot of these countries would not exist anymore. If we reacted to those religions the same way that those religions react to us, none of y'all would be here. None of us, we would not be having this conversation. I would not be looking like this. I might not even exist anymore. But it's because for those of us that practice paganism, we have an innate respect for all faith systems for the most part. We can have our opinions, our feelings about different ones, even about different ones amongst our own communities, but we're accepting of all because we understand that everything works within delicate balance in the universe, right? But for you to adopt the mentality that that which is unfamiliar to you is dark or evil is kind of, I don't know, it lacks a certain level of intellectualism, doesn't it? And also, if you do want to look into it, don't go to the darkest fucking site or the absolute worst thing and then go into that. Like there's, you know what I mean? It's like devil worship. What does devil worship look like? Okay, well, like, first of all, what is a devil? What is a devil? Let's define what that is. Who actually does worship whatever that devil is their only one? And then why are you associating every single person that is not practicing an Abrahamic religion as being a devil worshiper? Where did you get that? Why do you feel that way? But that was what I was getting. But for some of you guys, the other message too was being able to tell when somebody is manipulating your energy. That doesn't necessarily have to be with spell work, but for those of us that have, I mean, I don't practice baneful magic really. If I practice baneful magic, you were fucking with me and I had to stop you. That's really how I do things. But whether somebody is sending a spirit, like an entity, your way to fuck with you, or whether somebody is just being manipulative and lying to you, both require for you to have a very intense knowledge of self, right? So let's say, for example, that I know that you have an issue with the wandering eye, and I want to break you up with your partner. I don't have to curse you to do that. All I have to do is cast a spell that brings a person into your life that you're attracted to fuck up your relationship, because I know that's a weakness of yours, but you still have free fucking will. You don't have to fall into that. So if you're somebody that's been working on yourself and working on what you healed, whatever inner wounds you had that was making you somebody that was unfaithful or had a wandering eye, if I send somebody into your life that you think is attractive with the intent of trying to fuck up your relationship, you're going to see that attractive person and be like, wow, that's a really beautiful person. But I'm in love with my partner though. You know what I mean? And whatever it is that I tried to do to you isn't going to work. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be spell work. It's like some of you guys need to become more privy to when people are manipulating you. In ways that are subtle, ways that are targeting your weaknesses, because it's almost kind of like, I feel like I'm rambling, so let me just get into the cards. But that was the message I had for you guys earlier. It was kind of like being so close-minded to something that you're really easy to be manipulated because you don't seek enough knowledge. That's what I was getting. What message do we have for Aquarius placements? There's like, it's something you were easy to manipulate in something, or you're being easy to manipulate because you don't seek knowledge. You make a lot of assumptions, okay? Or you could be working from a mental framework that might be from your past. Here we go. So, Kali Mahamaya. When a situation becomes unnecessarily complicated or confusing to your heart, Kali Mahamaya arises spontaneously as a protective bearer of universal truth. Ultimately, her revelation shall lead you beyond that which is deceptive or not right for you. This you are promised. She protects you from that which is unworthy of your heart and seeks to constrain your spirit. Okay, I'm with it now, Aquarius. So the message that I'm really getting for you guys is that some of you guys might think that you're more hip to stuff than you are. And it's not like a jab to you. It's because you're working from a mental framework that doesn't serve you anymore, okay? So it's like you need to outgrow certain things or to leave certain mentalities. Because what I'm kind of getting is the example that I'm being given, right, is like, let's say, because on the topic of angels and demons and nothing in between, right? I posted something on my threads today where I was essentially saying, like, some of y'all need to not think that everything you feel is evil, because you could be fucking around and calling your grandma's spirit a demon, you know what I'm saying? And she over here praying for you and trying to protect you. You feel her presence in the house, but you associate any spiritual presence with something malevolent. You can't even tell the difference between both, right? It's something like that. And it's like, maybe there is some sort of outdated mentality or wounded mentality that you are functioning from, that it's time for you to start reviewing these belief systems or reviewing these ideas, that reviewing what you identify yourself with, because now this is holding you back. Because I'm getting a vibe that, like, somebody could be lying to you straight to your face, Aquarius, but because they're lying to you in a way that suits whatever your belief system is, you're going with it. You know what I mean? You're ignoring how it is that you truly feel, and you're going with whatever it is that they're selling you, as opposed to asking more questions, right? Getting more information. It's like confirmation bias. There it is. Here, let me read this to you. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is the innate tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs while disregarding contradictory evidence. It causes flawed decision-making, reinforces stereotypes, and creates echo chambers. It can be reduced by actively seeking opposing viewpoints and considering alternative explanations. So yeah, there's something or someone that you could have vilified in the past, Aquarius, because you were just making assumptions. Assumptions based on whatever, and then you were looking for reasons to confirm that. So like I said, let's say for example, we don't have to make it spiritual. Let's say for example in a relationship, right? It's like you have a preconceived notion about commitment. Okay? So it's like when you déjame, espérate. That's going to piss me off. That for example, you have preconceived notions surrounding marriage and commitment, right? Maybe your parents didn't have a happy marriage. Maybe you're one of those people that like, I don't know, associate commitment and compromise with weakness or something, bitch. It's some weird people out here in this world, okay? I don't know. I can't relate. But it's like, so then you end up getting in a relationship with somebody and then you are trying to make them conform to whatever beliefs you have about relationships, right? So it's like if this person asks you for more of your time and you inherently believe like, oh, relationships, oh, they just take so much energy. And it's like this person could make a valid petition towards you, something that is totally reasonable. They don't have to be pushy about it. They don't have to be disrespectful about it. But because you already have this preconceived notion about relationships, you're already preparing your brain to fight back or push back on whatever anybody has to say to you. Not realizing that the reason why you're struggling with relationships is because of your behavior. So it's like you're painting somebody out to be something that they're not, just because you're trying to create that confirmation in your head to avoid having to make a change or to avoid having to change your mind about something, right? That's what it is giving me. And then it's like you'll end up in situations where it's like, okay, now you're going to get with somebody that maybe doesn't respect you, doesn't care about you. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes God will send you that. Like if you fuck up with somebody that genuinely did care about and respect you, especially if like that person was like a gift of some sort, then sometimes God will bring people in that are exactly like you. And you might not even realize it. They're different degrees of you. And then you go from having this loving, caring relationship to being smacked around by people that have the same mentality as you do and that function like you do. And then you're sitting there and you're wondering, why does nobody ever care about my needs? Why does nobody care about my feelings? Why is everybody running over what I want? Why is nobody ever listening to my... Because you're really good at clocking it when it's you, right? When it's directed towards you, but you're not good at clocking it when you're doing it to other people. And some of you guys might have had that happen, where it's like maybe you were being manipulative to somebody because you were trying to keep yourself from having to outgrow something. You were trying to prevent yourself from having to compromise with something. And then you ended up in a situation with people that do to you what you were doing to other people. Now you can plainly see the ways that you were not showing up or why it is that you struggle to have certain kinds of relationships. It doesn't have to be relationships, but that's what I'm getting, right? It's like there's something about you being in alignment with yourself to understand when it is time to compromise, when it is time to do more research, ask more questions. Another good example is like if you believe that everybody cheats, right? And I used to be like that. I used to be like that. Anything that person does that makes you feel insecure, you're going to associate that with cheating. It's like you're going to be chilling at a restaurant with this person and maybe this person's really attractive, right? This person's not interested in nobody else that's around, they just want you. But you are convinced in your brain that this person is going to cheat on you. So a waiter or a waitress comes by and your person is just being friendly. They're being friendly, they're being polite. But you see them being friendly or polite, and you're like, see, they're flirting with the waiter. See, I know everybody ain't shit. And then like you start fucking with other people. And now you cheat on this person and this person was not cheating on you. It's giving that, Aquarius, where it's like you are or you were behaving in a way to confirm something in yourself or to confirm something to yourself. And maybe you ended up hitting a wall with realizing that maybe you were being too close-minded. Maybe you weren't asking enough questions. Maybe you were not doing enough fucking research. And now you're in a really weird spot because now you're forced to face the reality of maybe I do need to make some changes, okay? What message do we have for Aquarius placements? This is long already. I might need to... I'm hearing Mr. Postman. Excuse me, hold on one second. Anyway. Some of you guys could be dealing with the Taurus. What message do we have for Aquarius placements? Some of you guys could be waiting for a message from somebody because I'm hearing Mr. Postman. Some of you guys might have realized you were working really hard for no reason. Clarity on this message. Like you might have received a message from somebody. message here. Okay, like I said, confirmation bias. It's like you were seeking out information to confirm what you already knew, and that made you hit a wall. Okay, or it's gonna make you hit a wall, Aquarius. But there could be some message coming through about like you having lost out on something, or you losing out on something because of you putting it in a box that it doesn't belong in. Does that make sense? That's really what it's coming through here. And then you ending up in a situation where you are actually being manipulated. So you might have painted somebody as being manipulative just because maybe they said something you didn't like, or maybe they functioned in a way that might have been a little bit more mature than your perspective. Am I making sense? What message you have for Aquarius? It's like, it's almost kind of like maybe you were perceiving somebody who had a higher perspective as being manipulative, or maybe you were projecting your own insecurities onto this person. Like, it's like this person could be encouraging you to do something better for yourself, or encouraging you to be more consistent, encouraging you to show up more, and you traded that out for people that were toxic because they didn't have to force you to grow, but you might have manipulated yourself into believing that and ended up with some fucked up people, okay? Especially if this pertains to love. Yeah, some of you guys might have started a problem or an argument with somebody that you care about. You might have broken your own heart with something. Especially if it's giving that energy of like somebody, like I said, somebody that wants to be in a relationship but doesn't want to do relationship things. It's like wanting to receive the benefits of having a connection with somebody without having to do what it takes to sustain a connection. And you might have done something stupid. I'm so sorry. Or somebody could have done this to you, Aquarius. Done something stupid or started an argument with somebody that you genuinely had a potential future with, because you were trying to paint them out a certain way because they required for you to grow and you didn't like that, okay? Or this could have been them to you or you to them. It's like somebody was required to grow in a way that showed maturity, and instead of them growing and showing that maturity, they kind of vilified the person that was requiring for them to show up, and then like launched themselves back into a bunch of toxicity, got their ass beat and handed to them, and then they realized like, oh, maybe it doesn't hurt to compromise. Maybe it doesn't hurt to ask questions, to communicate. That's what it's really giving me, Aquarius. I almost said Virgo. I don't know if you guys said Virgo, but this could be with a Virgo. You can check out Virgo's reading. But that really is what I'm getting for you, Aquarius. So what are the final messages for Aquarius placements? I'm hoping that what I said made sense. You're dealing with a Libra here. Yeah, some of you guys are being complacent. Or you were. And it's like justice has been served in a situation. It's like you were trying to be strategic or win at all costs with something in a situation that like it wasn't about winning or losing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, some people don't understand how to be in a relationship or to sustain connections with people without, like I said, it's like that situation, like breadcrumbing somebody. It's like being consistent in somebody's life is just a fair thing to do. You should be consistent with your family, your friends, your lovers. That's what you should do. And it's like if somebody requires you to be consistent, you're getting mad at them for requiring for you to be a grown-up. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want anybody to, that's very Aquarian actually. I don't want nobody telling me what to do, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, this is a world full of people, and if you would like to sustain positive connections, yes, you will have to listen to other people's needs, and yes, you will have to compromise. Yes, you will have to accept that sometimes you fuck up. But just because somebody requires something, some maturity, some leveling up for you, that doesn't mean that they are to be vilified just because it made you feel insecure. You need to address your insecurity and why that made you feel insecure, as opposed to trying to make that person think that they're the problem or trying to make that person the problem. Because if you're going to keep acting like that, you're going to end up in connections where people are just like you, and they neglect you, and they downplay you, and they backstab you, and they lie to you. And you're going to be like, well, why is this always happening to me? Well, baby, maybe because you're showing some of those behaviors yourself. If you don't want to experience that, then you can't embody that either. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the message that I have for you, Aquarius. I'm sending you so much love. Okay? If you'd like to book a reading with me, again, check out the information in my bio below. Apart from that, I will see you guys next time. Ciao. Uy.